The story introduces us to Molly Gray, a 25-year-old maid at the opulent Regency Grand Hotel. Molly is not like other people. She struggles deeply with social cues, takes everything literally, and finds comfort in strict routines, cleaning manuals, and the wise proverbs of her recently deceased grandmother. To the wealthy guests, Molly is invisible, just a uniform that restores order, plumps the pillows, and sweeps away their messes. Since her grandmother died, leaving her alone in a world she doesn't fully understand, her job at the hotel is her entire life. She takes immense pride in leaving every room in a state of perfect cleanliness. Molly's orderly world is permanently shattered on a Tuesday afternoon when she enters the grand penthouse suite of Charles Black, a notoriously wealthy and arrogant real estate tycoon. Expecting to find an empty room ready for turn-down service, Molly instead finds Mr. Black dead in his bed, his body still warm. Instead of panicking like an ordinary person, Molly's brain goes into overload trying to process the disruption to her routine. When she finally alerts the staff, the hotel is instantly locked down, and the arrogant, aggressive Detective Stark is called in to investigate the crime scene. Because of her unique way of speaking and her flat emotional responses, Detective Stark immediately views Molly with deep suspicion. To make matters worse, Molly is fiercely loyal to the wrong people. She has a massive, innocent crush on Rodney, the hotel's charming but shifty bartender, and she frequently helps Giselle Black, the victim's beautiful, much younger second wife, who was trapped in an abusive marriage with the tycoon. In her desire to protect Giselle and impress Rodney, Molly hides key pieces of information from the police, completely unaware that she is walking into a trap. The first part concludes with a chilling shift in the investigation. As Detective Stark digs deeper, he finds that Mr. Black was poisoned, and someone had access to the room during the exact window of death. Molly's strange behavior, her hidden secrets, and her fingerprints all over the suite begin to paint a devastating picture. The girl who spent her life making dirty things clean is suddenly accused of committing the ultimate permanent mess. As the investigation into the murder of Charles Black intensifies, Molly's lack of social intuition becomes a fatal flaw. While she views the hotel as a grand, harmonious family, it is actually a hotbed of illegal activity. Unbeknownst to Molly, her beloved bartender, Rodney, is running a highly organized drug smuggling ring right inside the hotel rooms. He and his criminal associates have been using the daily cleaning schedule as a cover, moving contraband through the luggage of wealthy, unsuspecting guests. Because Molly always follows her cleaning routine to the second, they could easily predict her movements and use her as an unwitting shield. Molly continues to operate in her own literal reality. When Detective Stark asks her direct questions, she answers with grandmother's proverbs and hyper-specific details about stain removals, which the police mistake for evasive, calculated answers. Meanwhile, Giselle Black, the tycoon's widow, plays a dangerous double game. She acts as Molly's friend, crying on her shoulder and giving her expensive gifts, while quietly ensuring that any clues pointing away from herself and toward Molly are brought to the detective's attention. Molly is too innocent to see that her friends are systematically building a wall of evidence around her. The situation escalates dramatically when Molly discovers a hidden compartment inside a vacuum cleaner she recently repaired. Inside are bags of white powder and a large stash of money. Instead of going to the police, she decides to return it to Rodney, believing she is being a loyal and helpful co-worker. Rodney takes the drugs, gives her a manipulative smile, and tells her she is his special angel, while simultaneously arranging to plant the murder weapon, a lethal bottle of prescription pills, inside Molly's neat and tidy apartment. Act 2 reaches a heart-wrenching climax. Molly returns home after a long shift, looking forward to a quiet evening of drinking tea and watching her favorite game shows, just as she used to do with her grandmother. Instead, her front door is kicked open. Detective Stark and a team of police officers storm her apartment. As a terrified Molly stands frozen, the police tear through her organized shelves, eventually pulling the fatal pill bottle from her cleaning caddy. Handcuffs are slapped onto her wrists, and the invisible Maid is dragged out into the cold night, completely abandoned by the people she tried so hard to protect. Locked inside a cold, gray holding cell, Molly experiences a level of despair she has never known before. The strict routines that used to protect her from the chaos of the world are completely stripped away. She is a girl who cannot stand a single smudge on a mirror, now trapped in a place that feels inherently dirty and broken. During the brutal interrogations, Detective Stark treats her like a criminal mastermind, twisting her literal interpretations of the world into evidence of cold, calculated malice. Molly is entirely prepared to accept her fate, believing that if the world has decided she is guilty, she must have failed somewhere. But just when her spirit is about to break, salvation arrives from the most unexpected corner of her life. Mr. Preston, the kindly, elderly doorman of the Regency Grand Hotel, refuses to believe Molly is a killer. He visits her in prison, bringing along his daughter, Cheryl, who happens to be a fierce, brilliant defense attorney. For the first time, someone actually listens to Molly without judgment. As Cheryl digs into the details of the hotel's daily operations, she begins to see the massive web of manipulation woven by Rodney, Giselle Black, and the hotel's corrupt kitchen manager. With Cheryl's guidance, Molly's perspective undergoes a profound shift. She begins to review her memories not through the lens of innocent loyalty, but through the objective matrix of a crime scene. She realizes that her unique ability to notice the tiniest physical details, the slight displacement of a curtain, an unfamiliar scent in the air, a specific timeline of used towels, is actually her greatest weapon. They create a meticulous, counter-offensive strategy to expose the drug ring and prove that Molly was intentionally set up as the ultimate disposable fall guy. Act 3 reaches a high-stakes, dramatic peak on the eve of the preliminary trial. Cheryl manages to secure Molly's release on bail, bringing her back to her neat apartment to prepare for court. However, the stakes are raised when Giselle Black pays Molly a terrifying, unexpected visit. No longer pretending to be a grieving, sweet widow, Giselle threatens Molly, whispering that some secrets are worth killing for. But instead of shrinking in fear, Molly stands tall, her uniform ironed and her mind sharp. She is no longer the invisible, compliant maid. She is ready to sweep the corruption out of the Regency Grand once and for all. The courtroom becomes the stage for Molly's ultimate transformation. Standing before the judge, no longer just a ghost in a uniform, she delivers her testimony with a calm, clinical precision that leaves the prosecution stunned. With her lawyer Cheryl guiding the defense, Molly presents a flawless chronicle of the hotel's hidden activities. She uses her razor-sharp memory to map out the exact times Rodney moved contraband, matching her room cleaning logs perfectly against the hotel's security footage. Under the intense pressure of the evidence, Rodney breaks down, exposing the entire drug syndicate. Giselle Black's empire of lies also crumbles. The court proves that she and Rodney were secret lovers, conspiring to eliminate the tyrannical Charles Black and frame the innocent Maid. Molly is officially cleared of all charges, her reputation restored. The Regency Grand Hotel undergoes a massive corporate purge, and as a reward for her unmatched dedication, Molly is promoted to head executive housekeeper. Her world returns to its beautiful, pristine order. The sheets are fresh, the mirrors are spotless, and she is surrounded by real, loyal friends. But Nita Prose has one final, brilliant card up her sleeve. In the quiet closing moments of the story, Molly sits in her apartment and shares a secret that she kept completely hidden from the police, her lawyer, and the reader. On the day of the murder, Molly actually entered the penthouse before Charles Black died. She found him gasping for air, having been poisoned by Giselle. But as he reached out to her, Molly noticed a unique bruise on his arm, a bruise that matched the shape of her late grandmother's hand. Charles Black was the cruel landlord who had illegally evicted her grandmother years ago, accelerated her illness, and left them in poverty. Instead of calling for help, Molly had quietly stepped back. She didn't poison him, but she chose to let the poison do its work. She watched him take his last breath, adjusted the pillows, and smoothed out the wrinkles in the duvet before leaving the room to trigger her official discovery routine later. It is a chilling yet deeply satisfying twist. The invisible maid wasn't just a victim of the plot. She was its silent, perfect executioner. The book closes as Molly takes a sip of tea, realizing that sometimes, to achieve perfect cleanliness, you have to let the trash throw itself away.